Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a loop of trying and failing? You give it your all, you pour your heart and soul into something, only to watch it crumble. And then you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again, just for the cycle to repeat. It's exhausting, isn't it? It makes you question everything. Today, I want to share a story about a man who knew this feeling all too well. A man who failed not once, not twice, but 17 times, and how one small, quiet shift in his thinking changed the entire trajectory of his life. Let's call him Alex. Alex was a dreamer, an optimist. His first venture was a small coffee shop, built on a shoestring budget and a whole lot of passion. He imagined the smell of freshly ground beans, the happy chatter of customers. For a while, it was just like he pictured, but a new chain opened down the street, and slowly his dream faded. The empty chairs were a silent testament to his first major failure. He was heartbroken, but not broken, he told himself. Next time, I'll be smarter. So he tried again, a tech startup. He and his partner worked day and night, fueled by instant noodles and the promise of innovation. They were on the verge of a breakthrough, but a disagreement over the company's direction shattered their partnership. The company dissolved. Failure number 2. Then came a marketing agency, an online retail store, a subscription box service. Each one started with a spark of hope, a vision of success. Each one ended in collapse. It wasn't just business. His relationships followed a similar pattern. He'd fall in love, convinced this was the one, only for it to end, leaving him feeling like he just wasn't enough. A failed engagement was failure number 10. He tried to write a novel, pouring his pain onto the page. It was rejected by every publisher. He tried to run a marathon and cramped up at mile 20. He tried to learn a new language and gave up after 3 months. One by one, the failures piled up. 14, 15, 16. Failure number 17 was the one that finally broke him. It was a small, simple project, a community garden he'd started. He thought, this is it. This is something pure, something good. I can't mess this up. But a freak hailstorm wiped out the entire crop just before the first harvest. And with it, the last of his resilience was gone. He didn't just feel like a failure, he felt like he was failure itself. He hit rock bottom, a place of complete and utter despair. He shut himself off from the world, the weight of 17 failures pressing down on him. He spent days in quiet solitude, replaying every mistake, every wrong turn. The blame, the shame, it was all-consuming. But in that profound silence, something unexpected happened. As he stared out the window, watching the world go by, a thought surfaced, clear and simple. In all his 17 attempts, what had he been focused on? The win, the successful business, the perfect relationship, the finished novel, the destination. He had been so obsessed with getting to the end goal that he missed the entire point of the journey. He realized his entire life had been a frantic race to a finish line he could never seem to reach. Each failure wasn't just a setback. It was a personal indictment of his worth. He had tied his identity to the outcome, and that was the problem. It wasn't the failing that was destroying him. It was his relationship with failure. In that moment of clarity, a profound shift occurred. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was a quiet, internal decision. What if he stopped chasing the outcome? What if instead he fell in love with the process? What if he embraced the trying, the learning, the building, the creating for its own sake? What if failure wasn't an endpoint, but just a data point, a lesson, a story? He decided to try one more time. Not an 18th attempt at success, but a first attempt at this new way of living. He went back to what he loved in the very beginning: coffee. He didn't draft a grand business plan. He didn't seek investors. He simply started roasting his own beans in his garage. He became obsessed with the process. The science of the roast, the origin of the beans, the art of the perfect pour. He wasn't trying to build an empire. He was just trying to make a great cup of coffee. He shared his creations with friends, then neighbors. He started a small stall at a local farmer's market. He didn't focus on sales targets. He focused on the conversations, on sharing his passion with each person who stopped by. He talked for hours about a particular bean from Ethiopia, not as a sales pitch, but because he was genuinely fascinated by its story. And people responded to that. They didn't just buy coffee, they bought a piece of his passion. Slowly, organically, his little stall grew. Word spread. Soon he had a loyal following, He opened a small shop again, but this time it felt different. The pressure was gone. The daily grind wasn't a grind at all, it was a joy. He experimented with new blends, he hosted tasting events, he taught workshops. Some ideas worked, some didn't. When a new blend wasn't popular, he didn't see it as a failure. He saw it as feedback. He'd tweak it, learn from it, or simply move on to the next idea with curiosity and excitement. Years passed. His small shop became a beloved local institution. Then it expanded to other cities. That man, Alex, who had failed 17 times, finally found success. But the irony was, by the time it arrived, he wasn't even looking for it anymore. The success was just a byproduct of him falling in love with the journey. His story is a powerful reminder for all of us. We are so often taught to fear failure, to avoid it at all costs. But failure is not the enemy. Our fear of it is. What if we reframed it? What if we saw every failure as a lesson, every setback as a setup for a comeback? What if we stopped measuring our lives by our achievements and started measuring them by our efforts, our growth, and our resilience? The real transformation doesn't happen when you finally succeed. It happens when you change your mind about what it means to fail. It's about finding the joy in the process, the passion in the practice, and the purpose in the pursuit. It's about understanding that the journey itself is the destination. So, if you're feeling beaten down by your own failures, remember Alex. Remember that sometimes the greatest success is simply deciding to try again. Not to win, but to learn, to grow, and to truly live. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that inspire. See you in the next one.